Hi and welcome to beautiful Hungary. In this Europe food travel video, I've put together 11 of the best Hungarian dishes and tips on what to eat in Hungary. If you are looking for good food in Hungary, you don't have to look far. Hungary has some of the best European food, and my Hungarian food tour will give you a flavor of what to expect when traveling to this beautiful country in Europe. Some of this Hungarian food experience may look familiar to you, like the famous goulash, which is certainly one of the best Eastern European dishes. But if you want to try Hungarian food, there is so much more nice food in Europe and Hungary to try. How about a very yummy pörkölt? Or some of the many tasty samples of street food in Budapest? Or did you know that Hungary produces its very own epic soda? My Europe food travel video on good food in Hungary will give you plenty of tips on some of the most tasty food in Europe and my favorite desserts you need to try. Stick around to the end for a special tip for a lactose and gluten-free restaurant in Budapest serving excellent gluten-free food in Europe. So let's get right into my 11 Europe food tips for good food in Hungary and tasty dishes in Europe. I'm going to start with a real Hungarian breakfast classic, Kakaos Sziga. Kakaos Sziga are chocolate rolls that are traditionally made with laminated Blondel pastry. These Hungarian chocolate rolls have crisp edges and soft fluffy centers. Buttery flaky dough encircles a rich chocolate swirl that feels like a cross between a croissant and a Danish pastry. Kakaos Sziga were first made in Göd, a small town on the Danube River just north of Budapest. Mór Pösch, a baker in the town, created the pastry in 1908 to celebrate his 33rd birthday. After his party, he had extra and chose to sell them in his shop rather than letting them go to waste. The Csokoládés tekergé, or chocolate swirls, sold exceedingly well, and he decided to add them to his menu. Nowadays, the chocolate rolls go by the name of Kakaos Sziga, or chocolate snails. They can be found all over Hungary in bakeries and pastry shops and are one of the best-selling breakfast pastries. Definitely give them a try and eat this in Hungary on your next visit to this beautiful country in Europe.
This is great. But it's not too sweet. Very nice.
Another tip on what to eat in Hungary for breakfast are sos kifli. Different from French croissant, kifli is made out of yeasted dough which contains butter and shaped into a thin crescent. Kifli are crunchy on the outside but all soft on the inside. The consistency of the dough, the size and the thickness rolled into all influence the kifli's texture. Sos kifli horns have a salty flavor to them and are sprinkled with caraway seeds and rock salt and sometimes poppy seeds. It's a simple but yummy snack and I recommend you have at least one while you're here. Langosh is a Hungarian specialty made by deep frying a basic dough consisting of water, flour, yeast, sugar and salt until it develops a golden brown color. Langosh is traditionally consumed fresh and warm as a snack, and it can be topped with anything from sour cream and grated cheese to garlic sauce and salt, although it is often also consumed plain. The name of the dish comes from the word lang, meaning flame, since it was originally baked near the flames of a brick oven. Nowadays, it is however usually deep fried in oil. The origins of langos are unclear. Some say it was created under Turkish influence, while others believe it comes from the ancient Romans. It's a greasy but tasty food experience and a real Hungarian classic. Speaking of Hungarian classic dishes, no Hungarian food tour would be complete without trying Hungarian goulash soup at least once. Goulash is the national dish for Hungary and a must-have when in Hungary. Goulash is also a well-known dish that enjoys immense popularity even outside Hungarian borders. In many countries, the word is synonymous with a thick stew, while in Hungary, goulash mostly represents a soup-like dish. It dates back to the 9th century when it was eaten by shepherds from the Magyar tribes. Hungarian goulash soup is traditionally prepared with bell peppers, carrots, root vegetables, various spices, tomatoes, potatoes, onions, and diced beef that is simmered in a rich paprika-infused broth. If you're still hungry after a hearty Hungarian goulash soup, how about another nice example of street food in Hungary? Szastos Róló, Hungarian cheese cream horns, are more like straight cream rolls instead of horn-shaped. They are a favorite of many Hungarians for Christmas, but are available throughout the year. Filled with a rich cheesy paste, this salty snack is not only very yummy but also quite filling. You can find it in pastry shops, bakeries and with street vendors.
That's interesting. It's a mixture between sweet and salty. Sweet dough with the zest of the cheese. Not bad.
When you are traditionally referring to goulash, you may actually have pörkölt in mind. Pörkölt is a thick Hungarian stew consisting of meat, onions and selected spices. Pörkölt is Hungary's national stew. Its name derived from the word pörkölni, meaning to roast or singe. The stew is made from meat such as beef, lamb, pork or chicken, simmered in a red sauce with lots of onions, garlic and paprika powder. It is traditionally served with dumplings, boiled potatoes or pasta. Pörkölt's history is closely linked to the traditional Hungarian goulash, as both dishes were originally prepared as peasant meals that made hefty use of powdered paprika.
So good.
Speaking of paprika, one of the most fun interesting facts about Hungary is that Hungarians love paprika so much it is their national spice. There are 8 grades of Hungarian paprika, ranging from mild to sweet to spicy hot. Hungarians consume more than 1.1 pounds, about 500 grams of paprika each year. And it's actually very healthy. The spice has more vitamin C than citrus fruits. It was first used in the 16th century as a food preservative, and nowadays there are more than 40 varieties grown in Hungary. It is made out of ground dried pepper, also called paprika, which refuse to grow anywhere other than in Hungary.
Some are spicy and others are not so spicy.
Yes, you can find the spicy. It is a mild spicy, so it's not like a chili or something. It's way less intense. And the sweet paprika is not spicy at all. It's not sweet like a sugar, but sweet means that it's not spicy at all. These are the smoked ones, smoked sweet and smoked hot. And these are the regular ones, which are not smoked.
Another tasty paprika dish is Hungarian chicken paprikash. Chicken paprikash is a rustic stew that was cooked in a large cauldron over an open fire. It is traditionally prepared with chicken thighs and legs that are braised alongside onions and cooked in a thick paprika-flavored broth. Although it is similar to classic pörkölt stew, paprikash is characterized by the addition of sour cream and occasionally flour, which are always added last to create a smooth, creamy sauce. After all this hearty food, let's move on to some of my favorite desserts you need to try. When you are in Hungary, it will be difficult to not succumb to at least one of these many delicious cakes that are on display everywhere. The Hungarian cakes are just to die for and make for a great dessert after any meal. Shed the additional pounds you may gain from all these nice cakes in a long walk through Budapest. But I cover that in another video, which you may want to check out too. Another sweet treat that you will find in several places around Hungary is kürtöskálacs. Kürtöskálacs is a spit cake specific to the Szekelys of Transylvania. Originally popular in the Hungarian-speaking regions of Romania, it became popular in both Romania and Hungary. The first written record on kürtöskálacs dates back to 1679. In the old days, it used to be a festive treat, but nowadays it is part of everyday consumption and you will find kürtöskálacs street vendors all across Hungary. Kürtöskálacs is made from sweet raised dough, of which a strip is spun and then wrapped around a truncated cone-shaped baking spit and rolled in granulated sugar. It is roasted over charcoal while lightly covered with melted butter until its surface cooks to a golden brown color. During the baking process, the sugar that is stuck on the kürtöskálacs caramelizes and forms a shiny, crispy crust. While you can have it plain, it's more common to top it with ground walnut and powdered cinnamon or even chocolate. It's another one of my favorite desserts you need to try when in Hungary. After so much food, we need something to wash it down. My all-time favorite drink in Hungary is the fresh lemonade you will find everywhere. If you think that this is all just about lemons and water, you will not be Hungarian. When life gave Hungarians lemons, they turned life and lemons into something amazing with a little bit of a twist. There isn't one official recipe, and every place will have their own variety of lemonade, with all kinds of different flavors. But rest assured, they are all delicious and worth trying. Another classic Hungarian drink is Bambi soda. Before Coca-Cola was introduced to Hungarian consumers in 1968, Hungarians enjoyed an orange soda called Bambi. Bambi, named after the favorite Walt Disney animated 1942 film, was first bottled in Budapest in 1947, right at the cusp of nationalization in Hungary. In the 50s, and for much of the 60s, Bambi was Hungary's only ready-made soft drink. When Coca-Cola and Pepsi were introduced in Hungary in the late 70s, Bambi faced real competition for the first time. Hungarians began to prefer Western products, and the Bambi brand was slowly disappearing. But Bambi is back, and a municipal company in Budapest produces Bambi again in limited quantities. It's a yummy soda drink and gives a unique Hungarian flavor that you won't find elsewhere in the world. And now to my bonus tip, a lactose and gluten-free restaurant. As one special tip for those interested in gluten-free food in Europe, try Kata, a special lactose and gluten-free restaurant in Budapest, which serves some excellent gluten-free food at reasonable prices. Definitely check that out. I really enjoyed my meal there. So these are my 11 tips for good food in Hungary. Of course, this list is highly subjective, and there is so much more food to explore when visiting Hungary. I had plenty of more dishes while traveling through this beautiful country in Europe. Please share your favorite dishes and food places in Hungary in the comments below. I'm sure there are so many more I did not know about. Hungary is a fascinating country to visit with lots of yummy food in Eastern Europe, and I'm sharing more about this beautiful country in Europe in my other travel videos. So make sure to check those out too. I hope you enjoyed this Hungary travel video. If you did, leave me a like down below, and if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to my channel, and I look forward to seeing you in my next travel video. Have a good one. Bye bye.